You have to have that belief in yourself that whatever the outcome is worth it.
You rather bust your ass to do what you love for a living than work for somebody else. And we ate top ramen and noodles and spam for years. But if it wasn't for that 2 feet in and just kind of believing in ourselves, we wouldn't be in this position now. We put the work in, and that's the only way around it.
We're here with Common Kings on the Get Busy podcast, and I have to tell you, a little bit starstruck because I was listening to your song last night, "Stand by Me," and I am telling you, I listened to it and I listened to it again and I listened to it again, and there is like a little bit of magic with what you guys do, and so I want to talk about. You're independent. Yes. You're creators, you're like unstoppable. And so, like we'll go down, like we'll introduce you in the podcast. I don't think we need to do roll call if you guys are good with that.
Oh yeah, no.
I want to talk to you about your creative process. All right, you're Polynesian, and that vibe comes through not only your music, but through you, right? You walked in the door and there's just like this immediate, you feel comfortable. Right? How fucking cool and rare is that? That's the magic I think I heard in your music last night. Even the snapped Achilles tendon does not stop the joy that you guys bring when you walk into a room. And it comes through your music. So I want to ask you, let's start with you, Mata. Like, first of all, your journey, right? We don't have to go into all the things, but how you found each other, right? How you become great. You're Grammy-nominated, right? What the fuck, right? Like this magic. How did you find each other? And really, what does your process look like? And for artists who are scared, not just musicians, humans, people, business, how do you take that first step and get past your fear?
Man, how did we get started? I kind of knew all the boys individually. As we were going from college to church to other dance groups, and met them, and I just noticed the talent these boys had, and like every other band on every street corner, hey, we should start a band. Started as a cover band, then we did the whole college scene. When we went to UC Irvine, started putting ourselves in these battle of the bands, Ways Goose, all these other reggae fests, and one thing led to another. We just kind of created our own little college following, and then our honorable fifth member, Tautua, which Robert knows, this guy has been the visionary, and just put us together and say, hey, why don't you guys just kind of target this niche market of being Polynesian, this island reggae scene? And we were just trying not to do that because being Polynesian,
because it's so obvious, right?
So obvious. It was like, dude, we don't want to do island reggae. It's just so obvious. Like, why don't you guys just try it? You guys, because you guys are actually talented and really good. Dude, I mean, it just hit. The moment we dropped our singles, No Other Love, Wade in Your Water, and then Alcoholic. They say it goes in threes. Those three just kind of catapulted us. And then Hawaii Radio put us on the map, and then we haven't turned around since. Now, that transition over 10 years ago was really scary because we all had our own personal 9-to-5s. Junior King is a sneakerhead. He worked at Nike just to get 50% off. He still is a sneakerhead. Rome, we met at school. He has more credits than any other biotech guy, but he's the smartest game. I met him at a gaming show.
It's always the quiet one, right?
He's a gamer, does database, paralegal, the whole nine. And then Uncle Louie, who's our fourth original member, he was doing notaries, real estate, everything. And I was just working. I actually was working as a musician part-time, moonlighting, and also working in a restaurant, trying to pay off our college tuition. In any case, when Tua came together, he said, guys, if you're going to do this, we have to jump in with 2 feet. There's no half-assing this.
That's right. Anything you do in life, right?
If you really want to take this seriously, we're like, all right, then it was the scariest moment for us. Like, holy smokes, we all have kids, we all have families, and we're about to go 2 feet in and just freaking double down and bet on ourselves. And we did. And we ate top ramen and noodles and spam for years. But if it wasn't for that 2 feet in and just kind of believing in ourselves with God's will as just kind of setting that path, we wouldn't be in this position now. Now being able to take care of our families, living and just doing what we love for a living. I mean, that's the ultimate goal. The part of the journey, that is the dream, you know?
Right.
So that's where we're at now, and we wouldn't look back. We don't regret anything.
No. And was it like collectively you said, you know, let's pull the ripcord. Let's go.
100%.
100%?
Yeah. We all looked at each other and made sure. And this is still the 4 original band members from day one. And we just talked about it. Dude, we're so deep in with each other.
Yeah.
It's like it's all for one for all. It's like if one person doesn't agree, then either you're out or you're forced to do it.
Right. How do you, you know, it's a really, the vibe that you have in the music that you create, how do you deal with conflict, right? Like artists, like you're gonna disagree, especially if you've got like a rocket scientist on your team, right?
Yeah.
Like how do you deal with conflict when you have 4 partners in what is basically a business together?
There is no conflict.
Yeah, there really isn't any conflict. Luckily, because we're all island boys, you know, we have the same upbringing.
What does that
plays a
mean
big
when you're
part.
an island boy?
Humility.
Yeah.
And respect first, you know.
100%.
And that's what we've all grown up being in church and just with our families, you know, like, so we take that same approach with the band, and it's been fun time.
Yeah, it's you know, in the Polynesian community, there's a saying, to serve is an honor,
Right?
You know, to serve. So that's what we do. We like to serve, and that's what we do first. That's our motto. Is like, okay, cool. What do our brothers want, and what can we do in return to help each other? And there's no egos in this band. That's what it was from day one.
How do you manage that? I mean, when you become big, and you have a tribe and a community, ego can sneak up and absolutely take you down.
It does, yeah. It takes a village, and you know, luckily none of these boys have it because of our upbringing as Polynesians. That there is no egos. Like, dude, you listen to your elders. Respect is so highly prominent in our culture, and we just kind of took that with us. But it's hard. Like Junior King is the lead singer. If I was Junior King, I'd be the freaking most conceited, arrogant.
I know.
But he's the most calm, most humble, and we have to like, all right, there's a fine line of being conceited and arrogant and just being, you're the guy. Everyone. So it's pulling it out of him, and I'd rather be someone that's trying to pull it out of him than trying to calm down this guy that he's just so wild.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we've been moving, and that's how it's worked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if it was any other dynamic, I don't know if this would work. You know,
right.
With the 4 Polynesian boys, and we just happen to be friends, no relation at all.
I think we also understand our strengths and our weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, like,
True.
We know what we're good at, and we let Malta. He's the kind of the AR of the group, so he's talkative. He's the one meeting other people. You know, I'm with the doing all the computer work in the studio. And JR's, the face of the brand. So we understand our strengths and our weaknesses, and we're able to feed off each other.
How did you get to the point? I mean, one of the things you said earlier, Mata, and you all agreed with, is that you didn't want to do the island reggae sound. How did you that is such a key to success, like leaning into like the core of who you are. How did you all decide, okay, we can do this? Was it a trust thing, or did you finally just say, it's in our DNA, this is what we should be?
2 things, trust and Totu. He was like, dude, we were trying to be a pop group,
right,
a mainstream pop group. We're like, dude, no one's going to listen to 4 big Polynesian guys, even though Junior King can basically sing everyone under the sun respectfully. But then Totu was like, dude, let's just grab a niche market and then go from there. See what happens. We're like, dude, you don't know what you're talking about. And then he's like, let's just try it. And then the rest was history. It really was that.
Yeah.
Hawaii fell in love with us. And Hawaii is such a prominent and very important place to kind of break. It broke a lot of other artists, especially in the reggae community, and that's what it did for us.
And so that was you began to sort of develop your tribe, like your audience. Like that's the hardest part, right? Like you're making this beautiful music. How did you find this group of enthusiasts who embraced your sound and your voice? My God.
Yeah.
5 times I listened to it in a row last night.
It was there. It was the ones before us that set the path, the Fijis, the J-Bugs, all of the top-notch guys that we grew up listening to. And I think that path was paved before us, and we just kind of carried it. But we did, and we don't take enough credit for it, that we kind of created this new lane of this pop island reggae style. It's just Common King style. Our fans have now coined us as feel good music, and we're gonna run with it. You know, it's not island reggae, it's not reggae Jamaica. It's just feel good music. And you felt that when listening to it.
I did, and I was in a bad, stinky mood, and listening to it really brought me to like this. Like I was kind of irritated with politics, and then I listened to the song and I looked out the Pacific Ocean. And it was just like grounding. It was really, really cool. And that doesn't happen that often with music.
Oh, that's awesome.
And when we were talking last night, I was just off my 5th round of listening to Stand By Me. We were talking about how you guys you're independent and you do all the things yourself, including social media, which you were just doing. Right? Like how does that play with you? Like that you said, we all wear a lot of different hats, and that really sets the tone for everything we do.
We do.
Yeah.
The dynamic of that works just kind of like Rome said. Everybody knows their strengths in this community. We call it, this is a business. This is our company. This is our baby.
Exactly.
So we just kind of enhance what we're good at. And then it just goes. If we know that Monta's good at A&R, let him take the reins. He's now the strategic manager of relations.
Right.
You know, Junior King is the face. You're everywhere. Junior King is the face. He's the voice. Rome, we're just enhancing what everyone's good at, and it's worked. You know, but we still have people holding down the fort while we're doing that, and then we're just relying on each other, and it goes back to trust. And it's worked since. And until anyone else tells us otherwise, we're just gonna keep the ship going the way we know how it's going to work. And everything's kind of really calculated. Tua taught us that as well. It's like, dude, it's luck and timing. You know what I mean? It's just preparation got us there. So we're still there. We're not fully where we want to be, but we're so grateful where we're at.
How will you know when you're fully where you want to be? Like what is greatness to you? I mean, I think you're great, obviously an addiction to one song, but like, what does that mean in your world, right? To be great. We're not where we want to be. Like, what does that mean?
That's a good question.
Good question. We're doing a 50th year of Common Kings tour or something.
Yeah, 50 years.
tour.
Like the journey is part of it, is part of the dream, like we said. And I think where we know we can leave a legacy behind for our kids.
Yeah. What's the legacy? What does that equal?
When we pass, we know this name, and they're going to be well off regardless of off of the fruits of our labor, off our music, off our catalog, off everything we built. And it's literally solely off what we built. Nobody else, and we're not working for anyone else. I think that's the legacy. That's what we think. You know what I mean? Boys, what do you guys?
I think inspiring the next generation. I want
absolutely
like the ones that come after us to be like
the next
watching
Common
us
Kings,
and seeing us and learning how we did it and making it even better.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. That idea of legacy is so cool. And when I am sitting with startups and entrepreneurs or mentoring them, the idea of legacy never comes up, right? It's just like getting the rounds of funding, like get this thing stood up. But legacy, I think, in the music business is really important because you're having an impact not just on someone's day, like you did to me yesterday, but on the future. You're laying a foundation for a new sound, feel good island, that's kind of mainstreaming. And it's interesting to me that, you would bring that up being as young as you are. And so in your industry, like, how do you innovate, right? Like, how do you innovate so that your legacy is not just like one thing, or is that not even relevant? I don't know.
No, that is relevant. I think that's a great question, being innovative. You look at all of the artists in the entertainment business, and it's like, how do you make yourself stand out? How do you be innovative? And I think we creating our own lane, we that was it. We created this whole lane, and that's how we were innovative. And how do we keep and sustain that is where we're at right now. We've been doing this for 10 plus years, and it's now a sense of responsibility to keep that alive and fresh, hungry, and then see how we can give back to the next upcoming artists. we've learned a lot through touring. We've toured for many years. We toured with the likes of Justin Timberlake, Megan Trainor, CeeLo, Bruno Mars, and we're like, okay, cool. What are we gonna learn from all those top-notch artists, which we've applied in our system, and how we tour, how we write songs, how we perform our live show, and then we've implemented that in ours. And then from there, and people see it, they know that there's a certain difference. When you see a Common King show or listen to a Common King's records, there's a certain standard, and we try to keep and maintain that standard. And then from there, people ask us, how is it? Now we're gladly like, this is what we've done. There's other artists and producers and engineers that try to keep things from like, no, that's how we do it. We don't believe in that. We believe if you're asking and you want to know and you want to grow and be a better artist, we're going to tell you, we gladly, hey, this is how we did it. 10,000 hours is a real thing. This is what we learned from JT. This is what we learned from Bruno. And then they're grateful for it. And I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But that's where the legacy comes as well in what we do as artists. We don't have a 401k. We don't have a retirement. We don't have any of those. Our legacy is our publishing. That's our 401k, our touring. We make our money only off of touring and merch. And then, being able to grab that money and then, invest in something else.
Yeah.
That's where our legacy lies.
Yeah. Well, and also your legacy is in what you're leaving behind musically and creatively. And that you cannot put a price on that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like the impact for future artists. And so it kind of leads into my next question, which is, your advice we have interviewed quite a few artists and musicians, and there's a real risk when you go into the bit, you take the first step, you do the things, that you lose your sense of self and creativity because the industry is a taker, right? The industry will take and leave you in a shell state. Mm-hmm. How do you as an artist, and you guys are such a great example of this because you've done it, but how do you maintain that sense of what you stand for without letting an entire industry suck you dry, like Britney Spears, or like some of the other, musicians who have given themselves completely over and they are just shells. And I'm not trying to pick on her. I'm just, it was just the only example I had in my head, and so it popped out.
There's so many.
Yeah, what is your advice to young talent, artists and even engineers, like anyone who wants to get in the business? And, how do you not sell out, right? Like you guys you're not sellouts. How do you do that? It would be so easy.
Yeah. What do you guys think?
I think first and foremost, we believe in God, and that really grounds us.
Yeah.
And being able to lean on each other, you know, and our team and the core of who we are, that's what keeps us solid, so I guess, collect or connect yourself with real human beings and people that see the same things as you and go after that same vision,
Yeah, and it seems like, even from the moment you guys walked in, you know what you stand for, right? You know what's important to you. You're not standing for somebody else's idea of what you are, right? That's that authenticity thing, which is like this fleeting, weird term that's overused. But when you are true to yourself and your art, nobody's going to take it, right? And I mean, I don't know. Is this a little bit too transcendental, too existentialist?
I think you nailed it on the head. When you're true to yourself, and we believe that you're a byproduct of your environment.
Yeah.
So it goes back to how we were brought up in our culture, in our community. The reason why we work so well too, because all of the boys, we all come from such good families, and that we know each other's parents and spouses and kids. They all grow up together, and we all know we come from such a good faith-based family that we can check each other.
Yeah.
It goes back to no ego. So I could tell you, hey, you're acting up, stop being a knucklehead, let's get this shit done. And he's like, dude, you're right, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm like, cool, let's move on. We don't need to do all that. We're not gonna mess around with all this stupid stuff. We don't let other people dictate how we run our shit.
Right.
And then that's how it's ran for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah.
And we're grateful. And it's it's never swayed. We've never let anyone sway us. We've had all these offers and deals and major labels, and it's like, dude, no, we're not gonna give up and sell ourselves to that.
Yeah.
Give up all our publishing or anything. We want to make music the way we want to, and we want to run our ship the way we want to. And then that's how it's been.
Yeah.
Control.
And
we
that's
keep
like the greatness of a solid brand, like
Yeah.
a Nike, is just like leaning into what you believe. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's super cool that you work for Nike, right? Like that is just
Yeah. That was
my
the
employee
biggest.
number.
We're like, how can we go on tour and still keep your employee number?
yeah, right, right.
It was awesome.
Can we like switch gears a little bit and talk about vodka?
Oh, absolutely.
Let's talk vodka because you guys.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
It
right?
is. I mean, not here on the West
No, not
Coast,
yet, not on
but
the West Coast.
let's talk vodka, and then I want to talk about your tour this summer because you're coming to Red Rocks, which is my backyard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
And
best backyard,
It is.
bro. That thing
it-
is.
hey,
God.
that's. I am the
Incredible.
mayor of Red Rocks. Okay.
Love
That makes the third person that said that. You're the third mayor.
We love Red Rocks.
Yeah, no, let's talk your vodka brand and how you sort of, transitioned into that niche in a really crowded market, right? Like, vodka is pretty, it's pretty
popular.
saturated, but it's a cool label, and you guys are totally behind this brand. So how did you what's the deal there?
Well, we connected with, we had the blessing to meet these two amazing brothers, Walt and Ed Kerpa. And unfortunately, Ed Kerpa had passed away a couple years ago. But he fell in love with the culture. He lived and moved to Hawaii. He's from Boise, Idaho. The distillery's from Boise. He moved to Hawaii and then started just kind of growing all of the natural botanical essence,
Yeah.
the fruits on the land he built. But living there for 10 years, he fell in love with the culture, what everybody loves. And they fall in love with it. There's nobody I know that goes to Hawaii and says, oh, dude, Hawaii sucked.
No.
It was the
No.
worst. No, just like everybody else, he fell in love with the people, the culture, the community. And he noticed that
Yeah.
Polynesians and Hawaiians, they give so much aloha.
Yeah.
And he felt that it was his responsibility to give aloha back.
Yeah.
So through that, he started putting together these cool communities, give back programs with the vodka. But aside from that, we just love the vodka so much. And then we're whiskey drinkers originally. When
Oh,
you go to
really?
our you go to our backyard. When you go to the green room, our rider says whiskey, but we changed the whole rider up because this vodka is the most cleanest, purest, and smoothest vodka.
Really?
Yeah, you can
Yeah.
shoot it. I wish we should have brought some. I'm
More
sorry.
so than Tito's?
Yeah.
Way
I'm telling you,
cleaner.
clean. I'm telling you,
Drink it
everything.
warm.
It is
Yeah.
just.
Tastes good.
It's so smooth, so premium. You can drink it and shoot it on your own. But it's great mixers with Monster. Everything else. Shout out to Monster Energy out there. But yeah, ever since then, we've just kind of been the ambassadors of it. We head to Hawaii next week, and then they just now sell it in all the food lands, all the times. And then there's a bunch of cases and pallets that were all purchased in Hawaii, and now we're just with that, like every dollar or anything that gives back to the community of Native Hawaiian organizations
Yeah.
and that. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 deal.
Should
you
we
know
tell
what I mean?
people what it's called?
Yeah, it's called Uncle Ed's
Uncle Ed's.
Damn Good Vodka.
Yeah, it's beautiful labeling.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's smooth. You guys got to try Uncle Ed's Damn Good Vodka.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do it in Bevmos and other big brands around here in Southern California. But it's you'll see it.
Yeah.
Keep a lookout, yeah.
Yeah, and it's the give back part of that really caught my attention, because it's so common kings, to like,
Yeah.
it's not just a vodka, capitalist go to market. There's like this, the soul to it is for the greater good of a community.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there is. There's a lot of other breweries and spirits that have been trying to partner up with us.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's cool, But this one was different. This one was something that we can put our name to that we were proud of.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest purpose.
Yeah, no, that's a big deal. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
It's a tough market to crack. And
It is.
vodka. But with you guys behind it, it's just going to be a love fest from Hawaii
Yeah.
all the way to Manhattan,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Tequila is a saturated. That is a saturated
It
market.
is. We had a tequila guy here
Jeez.
yesterday. It's complicated. Like had no idea that booze was so complicated.
Oh,
And-
it is, man.
Yeah, and even like the vodka. I interviewed a vodka guy in Denver, Streeter Flynn vodka, and it's a very small batch. But anyway, yeah, it is quite.
Yeah,
an
we
art
thought the
form.
music business was complicated.
Yeah, no, it's
The liquor,
booze, man.
yeah,
Like,
it's
what
booze.
in the world? Who is dumb enough to go into that?
Yeah,
Just kidding.
idiots.
Just kidding. Let's talk about the tour this summer. Mainly, let's talk about Red Rocks because
Yeah,
Oh.
because I'm so biased.
I haven't decided if I'm going to let you guys into my town. You know,
Yeah,
just
right.
kidding.
You
Just
better
kidding.
be there.
I'm going to be there.
Oh,
I'm
I
going to be
have
there.
to.
I want some behind the scenes. But let's talk about the tour and what you guys like to accomplish when you're out there on the road. And then we're going to wrap up. And I really want some crisp, heartfelt advice for artists, right? And the creative process. But forget that for now. Let's go back to Red Rocks.
Tour,
Let's talk
yeah.
about your
Red
tour.
Rocks.
Like, what's happening?
Red Rocks. Well, we got a huge summer tour coming up this summer. But before that, we are gonna start our whole run next week for 2 free concerts at the Ala Moana Shopping Center in Hawaii. 808 State. That's where our family's from. We grew up there, and that's always our home away from home. So we figured before we go out with Slightly Stupid and Dirty Heads, we're gonna do 2 free concerts for the community. This is our way just to say thank you for always
Nice.
supporting us.
Yeah.
July
Independence.
4th,
We're
okay.
happy
Nice.
celebrating America's birthday.
That's like soon. Do you guys need to
Yeah,
get
we
on a
leave. Yeah, we
plane?
have to
Like-
get home.
We
June.
leave,
Flight's in about 3 hours. But then we get back on the 8th. Dude, I mean, we prep on the 9th, and then we're out to Cleveland on the 10th, and we
Wow.
won't be back till September 1st.
Wow.
We are just doing all of North America, working backwards from Cleveland, Maine, all the East Coast back to the West Coast.
Yep.
About 30 shows
Jeez.
with our boys Slightly Stupid and Dirty Heads and the Elevators. It's a pretty
Yeah.
good run.
That is awesome.
It's a pretty good run. I mean,
It's a damn good run.
yeah, it's a damn good run. We were just at a IG Live with the boys, all of them, Duddy, Miles, and Jackson, and we're just like, man, we are some lucky bunch of dudes that
Yeah.
just get to do what we love, tour the world with our buddies and our brothers.
Yeah.
And so it's just going to be a party and a great, just fun fest of just playing amazing music, drinking, and golfing.
Yeah.
It's really it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like that you say that, like the blessing that you have doing what you love with these amazing
Yeah.
people, going to Cleveland, like,
Yeah.
and,
What's in
Cleveland's fine.
Cleveland?
Well,
Yeah,
there's,
no, nothing.
there's like a bridge.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
bridge.
and there's a good museum there too. But like but the reason you get to do that is because you took the first step and you were fearless and you found a groove thing with your music and your people and you created this community of enthusiasts who love your music, and a new one converted last night.
Amazing.
Right.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
the record, we wrote that song. Stand By Me is a very, very special record to us.
You told me.
We
Yeah,
lost
tell
a
us.
dear friend of us, dear friend of ours. His name was Drew. He was actually our keyboardist. And it was tough during COVID that we lost him. We wrote that song in 25 minutes.
No
and
way.
just knocked it out the park.
Wow.
That dedicated that one for him. It just kind of flowed. There's certain records out there that just flow when
Yeah.
you know it's for such a
It's
purpose.
really beautiful.
Thank you
it's
very
really,
much.
really poignant. Who writes the songs? Who's the lyricist?
It's collective.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
all
yeah,
together.
yeah. We all write together.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we love to co-write with other amazing writers and artists and producers as well. So,
Yeah.
but when it happens, it happens. It can happen in 25 minutes. It can happen in 25
Yeah.
weeks.
Just like anything, like any creative process,
Yeah.
you just never know what you're
You
getting
never know
into.
what you're gonna get.
So let's kind of wrap it up here and let's talk about those artists who are fearful of starting and maybe don't have the collaborative relationship that you guys have. What is your advice to overcome that first hurdle? And not just artists, like anyone, any human afraid to start doing something.
Rome, he's the prolific one.
I know, he's thinking over it.
I'm
There's a
telling
huge
you.
thought bubble.
There's a
It's
huge
filling.
thought bubble.
Yeah, I just talk. He's very prolific.
No, like you said, I mean, taking that, those steps to, get yourself out there, and then also I think it's really surrounding yourself with a support system that will actually be there for you when you're down,
Yeah.
be there for you when you're up. So it's like having that support system is super vital as artists coming out, and just taking that step.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it's really good advice. And,
Yep.
I think we're really lucky to get to sit down with you. And I think our listeners are going to get a lot out of this interview because it transcends music. It's about being a good human and knowing what you stand for. So,
What do you think, Ar?
Well, like my last job, Nike.
Just do it.
Just do it.
just
I
do
love
it.
it.
It's
Yeah,
so
just-
true. It
love
sounds
it.
hack,
Yeah.
but it's just it's true.
It's
I mean,
very
it just
true.
yeah.
I think
Very literal, yeah.
just
Yeah.
have to have that belief in yourself that whatever the outcome is worth it. Just that first step.
Yeah. Yeah.
You rather bust your ass to do what you love for a living than work for somebody else. Because if you do what you love for a living, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
As cliche as that is,
I know. But
we
it's
haven't
true.
worked a day in our life for the last 25 years. You know what I mean? We get to go in front of crowds. I mean, every show, every venue this summer is at 15,000 plus venues. You know, to just jam with our brothers, just playing all our music,
Yeah.
and just get to rock out. You know, and it all took that very scary first step of just diving with 2 feet in. We're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, are we really gonna do this?
Yeah.
We're gonna be so.
But it
messed
must
up.
be that first time, it must be like a huge dopamine hit.
Oh,
right?
it's the greatest dopamine
yeah.
hit.
Yeah.
When you hear your song on the radio for
Oh
the
my
first
God.
time,
I can't even imagine.
that is like,
Oh my gosh.
we thought we made it. We were like, that's it, we made it. We're gonna go buy cars. I'm investing. I'm buying that property. And we're like, oh wait, they only pay quarterly. Oh damn it! I thought. Shit, ASCAP for publishing.
Between all of us?
What's divided by 4? Wait, what? No. So that's what. Oh, we got to write more records
Yeah,
and more. I
it's
was
not
like,
a
got
one-off
it.
deal.
It's not. I thought it was
Not
a
at all.
one and
It's-
done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sisyphean.
that was
You
a hard-
push the rock
Yeah,
up
but
and it
that's what it
rolls
is.
back down.
That was a rude awakening. We
Yeah.
learned. But yeah, we wouldn't. Grateful where we're at. Very blessed. But the whole thing of 10,000 hours, whatever you do, that's such a real thing. We put we put the work in.
Yeah.
And that's the only way around it. There's no way. There's no secret. You know what I mean? Just one hit wonder. Yeah, you can have one hit, but what are you gonna do? Tour the whole country with one hit? There's
Right.
no way.
It's been done before.
yeah. But where are they now?
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably at Nike.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just run down this. All right, so we've got, your advice is collaboration and a support system,
That's
right?
huge. Yeah.
And then we've got the just do it guy,
Yes.
right? And that part cannot be overstated, right? Just
Not at
fucking
all.
take the
Just
first
do it.
step, you guys.
Have to.
Just do it.
And then you got to do the hard work,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think that is pretty damn good advice, for life, for music, for vodka, for whatever you're doing.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much
Amy,
for
thank you
coming
so
to
much.
the busy couch.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It
And thank
was.
you for the extraordinary music. I mean, I am blown away.
Absolutely.
So,
Thank you so
yeah.
much.
Appreciate you. Thanks for
Awesome.
having us.
All right.
Big shout out to Robert. We have a few shows actually coming up too in November, so check us out. I know it's hard. It's really rare that we're back in LA, but check us out. Everything's online. We love
You're
you
all
guys.
over the place in Colorado. Vale,
Yeah.
Dillon, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
Morrison, which is Red
Morrison.
Rocks.
Yeah.
And then there was was it 3 or 4?
It's 3.
3, yeah.
it was
I'm going to find you.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of space. You let us know. You're our +1.